The world doesn't destroy the strong. It starves the silent. There is a quiet kind of death that no one talks about. Not the kind with funerals and flowers, but the one that happens while you're still breathing. The death that comes from silence. From betrayal, not from others, but from yourself. It happens when you look in the mirror and don't recognize who's staring back. Not because your face has changed, but because your soul has faded. One compromise at a time, one yes when you meant no. One smile when your heart was screaming. Carl Jung once wrote, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." And most people never do. Most people live their entire lives beneath a mask, smiling, nodding, obeying, bending, trying to be liked, trying to fit in, trying to survive in a world that is more than willing to eat them alive. But here's the brutal truth no one wants to say out loud. If you don't learn to respect yourself, the world will devour you. Not with guns, not with fists, but with expectations, with distractions, with false love, fake friends, and endless noise that keeps you from hearing your own voice. The world doesn't need to destroy you. It just needs you to forget who you are. And that is exactly what most of us have done. You've been at war with yourself, haven't you? You wake up every day already exhausted, not from the world outside, but from the battles inside. You try to be kind. You try to keep the peace. You try to be the bigger person. You try to be liked. But what about you? Who's been kind to you? Who's kept your peace? When was the last time you were the bigger person? For yourself. You bend so others won't break. You give so others don't leave. You sacrifice your time, your energy, your voice, just to make life smoother for the people around you. But deep down, something in you is screaming. And if you're quiet enough, just for a moment, you can hear it. What about me? What about your needs, your dreams, your pain, your truth? You keep waiting for someone to give you permission to take up space, to say, it's okay to rest. It's okay to say no. It's okay to be you. But that permission isn't coming. And maybe deep down you know why. Because you've taught people how to treat you. You've taught them that you're always available, always agreeable, always convenient. You've been so afraid of losing people that you started losing yourself. You've smiled through heartbreak. You've laughed in rooms where you felt empty. You've been the strong one, the reliable one, the understanding one, even when you were breaking. And now, you're tired. Not just tired in your bones, but tired in your being. Tired of performing, tired of pretending, tired of being everything for everyone and nothing for yourself. Jung knew this fatigue. He called it psychic death. The slow erosion of the self, caused by disconnection from your inner truth. When you abandon yourself long enough, you start to believe that's normal, that this is just adulting, that life is supposed to feel like a quiet ache. But it's not. And deep down, you know it. You weren't born to be a placeholder in your own story. You weren't born to dim your light to make others comfortable. You were born to live fully, to love boldly, to speak truthfully, to exist unapologetically. But before you can do any of that, you must reclaim the one thing the world has trained you to ignore, your self-respect. Carl Jung didn't study the mind. He studied the soul. He wasn't just interested in what you think. He wanted to know why you suffer. He wasn't satisfied with surface-level solutions. He went deeper, into the dreams, the shadows, the symbols, the suppressed desires we don't even admit to ourselves. While Freud focused on sex and survival, Jung went further. He mapped the unconscious. He explored archetypes, the eternal patterns that shape our stories. He named the shadow, the persona, and the self. He gave us a language for what we've always felt but never understood, that we are divided, that we wear masks to survive, that the parts of us we hide don't disappear, they grow stronger in the dark, and that the greatest danger in life is not failure, it's inauthenticity. Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." And he was right. We stay in dead-end jobs. We stay in toxic relationships. We chase empty goals. We distract ourselves with screens, substances, and surface-level pleasures. all to avoid facing the one person we're truly afraid of, ourselves. Because facing yourself means seeing the pain, the patterns, the compromises, the lies you've told to keep the peace. But here's the truth. Jung wanted us to know. The unconscious doesn't forget. Every moment you betrayed your truth, it remembers. Every time you smiled while breaking inside, it stores it. Every time you stayed silent when your soul screamed, "Speak," it builds up, until one day, your body breaks down, your heart grows numb, your dreams dry up. Your life feels like a fog you can't walk through. Jung didn't call this bad luck. He called it the cost of unlived life. The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of the parents. But that burden doesn't disappear when you grow up. It just changes shape. You start carrying the unlived life of yourself. Every dream you've abandoned, every boundary you've blurred, every time you've said, "It's not that bad when it was," all of it adds up. And it shows up in your depression, your anxiety, your burnout, your hopelessness. But those aren't illnesses. They're messages. They're yourself trying to wake you up, screaming, "Remember me, respect me, return to me." You don't need more motivation. You don't need another productivity hack. You need to come home to yourself. And that journey begins with one thing: radical, unapologetic self-respect. You don't need more people in your life. You need more truth. If this is hitting something inside you, if some part of you is stirring, remembering, rising, that's not by accident. That's your truth waking up. Because this isn't just a video. This is a mirror, a moment, a message you were meant to hear. So if your heart's been nodding along quietly, if your soul feels like it's exhaling for the first time in years, then pause, breathe, and know you're not alone. There are more of us than you think. People who feel too deeply, who've carried too much, who've been told to smile, stay soft, stay small, but are now choosing something different. We're building a space here for the thinkers, the feelers, the ones who don't fit into neat little boxes, the ones who want more, not more stuff, but more meaning. So if you feel that, stay, like, comment, subscribe. Not because it's a button, but because it's a signal that you're choosing truth, that you're choosing respect, that you're choosing yourself. And if you drop a comment, let it be the words you've never said out loud, because your truth deserves to be heard. Here's the twist no one tells you. The world doesn't change when you become stronger. It changes when you stop betraying yourself. You've been told to toughen up, to hustle, grind, achieve, to prove your worth through success. But what if your weakness isn't a lack of discipline? What if your weakness is self-abandonment? What if all the tiredness, the burnout, the overthinking isn't because you're weak, but because you're trying to be who you're not? You've been running on a treadmill of expectations, trying to earn love, trying to prove you matter. But here's the brutal truth Jung tried to explain. The more you betray your inner voice, the louder the world becomes, and the quieter you become. And eventually, the voice inside you doesn't even whisper anymore. It just waits. Until one day, a moment breaks you. Maybe it's a breakup. Maybe it's a breakdown. Maybe it's waking up at 2 a.m. and realizing you don't even know who you are anymore. That's when it hits you. You've been living someone else's life, not yours. Not really. You've been performing, repeating lines you didn't write, wearing clothes that don't feel like you, smiling in pictures where your eyes are empty. And here's where it gets worse. The longer you do it, the more everyone benefits, except you. People love your silence. They love your agreeableness. They love that you don't challenge them. They love that you say it's fine even when it's not. But love built on your silence isn't love, it's convenience. And the day you start respecting yourself, really respecting yourself, that love, it disappears. people start saying you've changed, that you're difficult, that you're selfish, that you've got an attitude. But that's not attitude. That's awakening. That's you remembering who the hell you are. And that's what scares people, because a person who respects themselves can't be manipulated. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Lila. She spent 15 years of her life saying yes. Yes to overworking. Yes to family drama. Yes to friends who took and never gave. Yes to a partner who made her feel like an option. Every time someone crossed a line, she moved the line. She told herself she was being kind, that things will get better, that at least I'm needed. But the truth? She was dying inside. One night, she found herself sitting in her car after work. Hands on the wheel, keys in the ignition, but unable to move. She sat there for over an hour, not crying, not panicking, just empty. And in that stillness, a single thought rose to the surface. This isn't living. So she did something radical. She stopped. She stopped apologizing for needing rest, stopped answering messages the second they came, and stopped saying yes out of fear. She started asking herself every day, does this honor me? If it didn't, she let it go. Not with rage, but with reverence. It was messy at first. People pushed back, called her cold, said she was changing, and she was. But something beautiful started to happen. Her posture changed. Her laughter came back. She started painting again. She stopped apologizing for taking up space. And the world, it didn't end. In fact, it adjusted. The people who truly saw her stayed. The ones who only wanted her silence left. And for the first time in years, she felt peace. Not because the world became easier, but because she became real. Lila isn't special. She's just someone who finally said, I matter too. And that's the invitation in front of you right now. Not to blow up your life, not to start a war, but to start telling the truth, first to yourself, then to the world. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I truly respected myself? Don't rush the answer. Let it unfold. It might look like saying no without explaining. It might look like taking a nap without guilt. It might look like deleting a number, saying how you really feel, making art again, wearing what makes you feel alive. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be honest. Because when you live from self-respect, the world stops feeling like a battlefield and starts feeling like a mirror, one that reflects your truth back at you. Respecting yourself isn't just a mindset. It's a return to who you were before the world told you to be someone else, before shame bent your back, before fear closed your throat, before you were taught that pleasing others was safer than being whole. Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, not who your parents needed you to be, not who your friends expect you to be, not who the system rewards, but who you are when no one is watching. That is your shadow's secret. It's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to restore you, and the restoration starts here, by choosing your own dignity over their approval. You will lose people. Yes, and that's part of the path. Because when you start respecting yourself, you'll stop chasing love that makes you beg. You'll stop explaining your soul to people committed to misunderstanding it. You'll stop watering dead plants hoping they'll bloom. You'll begin to live from the inside out, instead of the outside in. And what you'll find? Peace. Not comfort, not ease, but peace. The kind that hums in your chest when you walk away from what no longer honors you. The kind that holds you steady when others try to guilt you into shrinking. The kind that whispers, this is who I am now, and I don't need you to like it. Respecting yourself doesn't mean you won't be scared, you will be. It doesn't mean you won't doubt, you will. But you will also stand taller, speak clearer, love deeper, live freer. And that's worth everything. You will begin to feel something. that no achievement, no applause, no relationship can ever give you. Integrity, the unshakable alignment between your soul and your actions. You'll look in the mirror and for the first time in your life see someone you're proud to be. That is power. So here's what I want you to remember. You were not born to be liked. You were not born to be palatable, convenient, quiet, or manageable. You were born to be real, to be whole, to be awake. And the world will try to tame you, to shame you, to feed on your self-doubt like it's a buffet. But you are not here to be devoured. You are here to devour the lie that you are not enough, to tear down the cage of conformity, to rise not as a perfect person, but as a person who belongs to themselves. Carl Jung understood this deeply. He spent his life studying the soul, the shadow, and the strange paradoxes of the human spirit. And he left us this final warning. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. So bring it forth. Bring forth the anger you buried to keep the peace, the dreams you shelved because they weren't practical, the voice you silenced to stay safe, the power you dimmed to make others comfortable. Bring it all forth, not in rebellion, but in reclamation. Reclaim your life. Reclaim your worth. Reclaim the self-respect that was stolen the moment you were told you had to earn it. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to remember everything. Who you are, who you've always been, who you are becoming, and once you do, the world can no longer devour you because you've become something it cannot swallow. Whole. If you felt something tonight, if this stirred a part of you that's been asleep for too long, let that part breathe. Let it speak. Drop a comment below and say one thing. I'm reclaiming my respect. Say it for yourself. Say it so others know they're not alone. Say it so the truth in you doesn't go back to sleep. And if this video gave your soul a voice, if you want more of this raw, honest, human truth, then subscribe. Not because I said so, but because you said so. Because you're done betraying yourself. Because you're done living small. Because you're done being devoured. This is your space now, your tribe, your turning point. So like, comment, share this with someone who needs to remember who they are. And above all, respect yourself. Not because the world demands it, but because your soul does and it's been waiting so patiently for you to come home.